Playing 1133 matches in a professional football career is an unbelievable number. Scoring 894 goals is a milestone that very few people in human history have ever achieved. But providing 400 assists throughout an entire career, that's a number no one in history has ever reached. Yes, but Lionel Messi reached it with such ease and simplicity. But who would dare say those numbers are ordinary? They are truly monumental, surpassing every highest standard ever set. At 38 years old, Lionel Messi still manages to make our hearts race with the magic he brings. Chase Stadium was glowing early. The atmosphere of a do-or-die match made people walk faster, speak softer, and fix their eyes on the tunnel, where number 10 would soon emerge. Before the match, someone asked me, "What do you think Messi will do this morning?" I simply replied, "He'll do what he always does." We hadn't even finished the conversation when the clock hit the 10th minute. The ball bounced outside the box. Messi seemed to pull the entire stadium toward him. One touch, one glance up, and then, that familiar swing of his left foot. The net rippled, the crowd erupted, and it was neat, unflashy, just like the way Leo has always played throughout his career. From that very moment, Nashville understood they were facing the toughest challenge of their season. Not because Miami was overwhelmingly dominant, but because Messi made all of their tactical plans fade into uncertainty and confusion. In the 39th minute, he drifted invisibly into space. Matteo Salvetti delivered a perfectly weighted pass, and with a delicate touch of his left foot, Messi lifted the score to 2-0. 2 goals in one half. But what struck me most was his calm expression as the ball crossed the line. No explosive celebration, because the captain knew there was still work to be done. At the start of the second half, Inter Miami began playing at Messi's tempo, calmly stretching the field wide before suddenly slicing through the defense. In the 73rd minute, Jordi Alba surged forward, Allende cut across, and the ball was in the net. The stands erupted, but there was still one thing yet to happen, the pass everyone was waiting for. 3 minutes later, Messi paused for half a beat, as if waiting for the defender to drift out of position. Then came the threaded pass. Allende burst forward and delicately chipped it over the keeper. 4-0. I didn't even look at the scoreboard. I looked at the embraces, Messi with his arm around Allende, head tilted toward the stands. Many there understood what had just happened. This was his 400th career assist. The number 400 sounds like a wall, or maybe a mountain, because it truly stands that tall. But when you follow Messi's journey, you realize this milestone was never a matter of if, only a matter of when. From the quick 1-2s with Xavi and Iniesta, to the diagonal switches and lofted passes out wide for Dani Alves to charge into space, Messi grew up in that team with the eyes of a creator. In that world, every pass was a promise, a silent assurance that the ball would find its destined place. When he left Barcelona, many thought his assist numbers would slow down. But Messi's football was never bound by geography. Paris Saint-Germain gave him both the bitterness and the sting of frustration, yet it never stripped him of the greatness that defines his name. Even in one of the most difficult periods of his career, he still produced 34 assists, enough to leave us all in awe. With Argentina, those delicate chips to Higuaín in the past, the perfectly timed passes to Julian Alvarez today, or the slide-through balls to Di Maria, the lofted drops over defenders for Molina's runs, all of it quietly expanded his tally. He never needed to flaunt it, because his numbers speak for themselves. Then came Miami, where the grass isn't quite like Camp Nou, where the ocean breeze tastes salty, where the floodlights shine with a different kind of glow, yet Messi still spreads his magic the same way he always has. The teammates receiving his passes may be new, yet somehow still familiar, and the numbers keep rising, naturally. That naturalness, in football, is the hardest thing to achieve, because creating an assist is never easy. Anyone who's played the game knows, delivering a pass that your teammate can control and finish with ease is far trickier than a spontaneous strike into the top corner. An assist is the sum of dozens of micro-decisions made in a single second. Where to stand to receive the ball, whether to turn your back or face forward, use the instep or the outside, hold the ball a heartbeat longer to let your teammate make the run or release it just before he does. Messi performs all that like instinct. Many of his most beautiful plays never even made it into the assist column. If pre-assists were an official stat, He'd lead that too. The Argentine legend often does the hardest part, creating the chance before the final pass, leaving his teammates only to square the ball and take the credit. But still, we need numbers to grasp the scale of his greatness. 1133 matches. 894 goals. 400 assists. In a sport decided by fleeting moments, Messi has directly contributed to over 1290 goals for club and country. No one in history has ever raised both those numbers to such astronomical heights. And remember, this is after 2 decades. 2 decades in which, even at 38, he continues doing it every week. Break down those 400 assists and you see the depth of it. 269 for Barcelona. 60 for Argentina. 34 for PSG. 37 for Inter Miami, each number alive and sparkling. Just like every moment Messi graces the pitch. In 2025, at age 38, he's still playing as if it were any other day, 43 goals and 20 assists in 50 games for club and country. These numbers are just the backdrop to a greater truth. He's not done yet. There was a stretch where he contributed to 17 goals in just 7 matches. And honestly, looking at a man we jokingly call old, even the young stars can't help but bow their heads in admiration. When entering Game 3 of the best-of-3 series against Nashville, Inter Miami knew there was no turning back, and Messi made sure they wouldn't have to. With a smile, he seemed to whisper to Busquets and Alba, "You two aren't retiring just yet." Many have asked why 400 assists are something only Messi could achieve. The answer is simple, because he's both the scorer and the creator, at the highest level. For the longest time, against the tightest defenses, Thomas Muller, Kevin De Bruyne, Cristiano Ronaldo, Neymar, Luis Suarez, all masters in their own right, still active, and yet none have reached 400. Even De Bruyne, whose every swing of the leg feels like a golden chance, still trails the Argentine legend. Messi's difference lies somewhere between that first touch and that final glance before the pass. He sees just a bit more than everyone else. Just a bit, but enough to change everything. People talk about strength, speed, pressing, and they're right. But to unlock a closed door, you still need a key. Messi has a whole ring of them, and 400 is proof that every single one has opened the right door at the right time. Inter Miami advanced to the MLS Cup semifinals. The playoff system may confuse newcomers, but the truth is simple. Miami has reached the stage where every game could be their last. Their comfort? They have Messi. And with him, those nights usually end well. Not out of luck, but because he quietly bends the scoreline to his will. Some say MLS isn't as intense as Europe. Maybe that's true, if you're watching from afar. But ask the Nashville defenders that night. They closed the wings, sealed the middle, held their shape well, yet one moment of ball watching, and Messi slipped it perfectly through the gap between 2 yellow shirts. Top-level football is decided by details. Those details are why he's reached 400. I'm not one to exaggerate, but some truths deserve to be said plainly. Messi is more than great. Greatness isn't about always being in the spotlight. It's about making football feel forever new. Even when everyone already knows your moves. The first touch, the drag to the left, the sudden shift to the right, the curled finish to the far post, still unstoppable. Because he doesn't repeat actions. He repeats effectiveness. One time it's a curler. The next a through ball. Another time a delayed pass for a teammate's run. Others see an old pattern. This legend sees a new solution. In a team where some players break games apart with pace and others bind them with short passes, Messi does both. He scores to finish. And he assists to lead the way. As the players walk off and the crowd slowly drifts away, I imagine the whispers mixing with laughter. Unbelievable. 400. Or maybe a little boy, wearing the number 10 jersey, holding his father's hand, asks, "Dad, what does 400 assists mean?" The father smiles and says, "It means every time he passes the ball, someone else gets a gift." Yes, that's how Messi gives gifts to his teammates. And in return, fate has given the world of football its greatest gift, Lionel Messi. Maybe that's the most important thing of all. Messi makes football look easy, not because it is easy, but because he does it right. Anyone can pass a ball, it's a basic skill. But not everyone can pick the right person, the right moment, the right foot, the right weight, the right height. And from today on, every time you see him place another gift at a teammate's feet, know this: it might just be brick number 401, 402, or 403 on a path that was never meant for ordinary men. Thank you, Lionel Messi, for showing us that 400 assists are real, and that things once thought impossible can become breathtakingly beautiful reality right before our eyes.